Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. I hope you're having a great day. We want to thank those of you who have taken the time to subscribe to this channel. We don't have very many people over on the other channel, which is called Diet Chats. It was a different name, and we have changed it. And what we have changed it to is diet chats, because we're going to be doing health and diet over there. Today we're going to be talking about DNA, which isn't something that we would typically talk about on Good Day, Good Prayers, but we're going to do it today because of the fact that we are talking about protecting your DNA. Our mRNA or RNA is really not a good idea, and there's a lot of things out there that will change your body from DNA to RNA. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about some of those things. One of them that I can tell you right off the bat has to do with cloning. There are people out there that have certain abilities, and they will collect those people up and they'll try to clone them. Now, from what I understand, most of the cloning centers have been destroyed, and a lot of the clones that were out there have also been taken care of. However, it is not beyond the realm of impossibility that Lucifer and his minions could get a hold of the capability to start cloning again. A lot of people talk about clones and cloning, and they talk about 1974 with Dolly the sheep, but cloning actually started in the 1930s. About 1938 was when that happened. That was also around the time when they decided that vaccines were bad for your health. Now, one of the things that has been stated, and it is continually being stated, is the idea that all of the people who get cancer on the face of the earth have had at least one vaccine. So what that means, as soon as you give your baby, your newborn baby, your few-month-old baby, a vaccine shot, then you're looking at the possibility of actually giving that little person, who will one day hopefully become an adult, cancer. That's where cancer comes from, is from the vaccines. And this has been something that has been known about since the 1930s. And as I said, it was around that same time that cloning took place. Now, we can talk about a lot of different things that have to do with cloning. The only thing that I'm going to say about it is that, as they have said on a number of occasions, they can clone up to 250 people from one individual. They can get up to 250 clones. Now, if they go ahead and say do maybe 9 or 10 or 12 people with one person, and so all of these people out here then are clones, what they will do is they will use each clone for the better part of 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, then they will have to put a new clone in service. And what they do is they keep updating the age of those clones. It's kind of interesting and almost eerie, if you will, where they take one person, and that person is basically placed in a cage. That's what Satan's people do. They put them in a cage, and then they just keep cloning that person until it gets to the point where they can't do any more clones. And then they dispose of that individual because they're no longer any good. in the cloning business. And so then the next thing that happens is they will develop 10 or 12 people from those clones. So they'll have maybe 250 clones, and these clones may make up, say, 10 or 12 different people. So let's say that you are a person who is really good musically. Maybe you can play an instrument or two, and you can sing, that kind of thing. Well, if they make the 250 clones from your body, you see, they can create up to 10 or 12 different acts. And so maybe your name is Joe. Well, here's Joe A and Joe B and Joe C and Joe D and so on. And each one of those people then is given some kind of a name. They are literally dressed up differently. They all have different hair styles and so on. Some are long hairstyles, some are short hairstyles, some moderate hairstyles. And each of these people is a separate act. They sound a little bit alike. They have the similar capabilities of playing various instruments. And they have literally created 10 acts out of one talented person. And what's kind of scary, though, is that all of those people look somewhat similar. Now, they can do some things to make the people look a little bit different. However, one of the real sad things is that the original person, the person who had originally signed the contract, oftentimes is no longer there. They are gone. All the clones became all these different people. And so they might have the capability of aging each of these clones, as each clone goes for about 3 years. And so somewhere in the 60s or 70s, when all of the clones have been utilized that created that particular singer, actor, whatever it is, all of those clones are gone. Well, then that person all of a sudden has a heart attack and dies. And it's kind of sad, really, because that's how Satan's people do it. First of all, you're imprisoned, you're cloned. Then when they got all the clones they can get from you, then they go ahead and they kill you. They create all of these different acts that they can make a lot of money off of. And when they run out of clones, well, at that point in time, those acts, all of them, have to pass away. And so within a period of 5, 6, 7, 8 years, every one of those people that looked a lot like you did are suddenly gone. It's kind of a sad situation, but that's what cloning was all about. I thank God that the Lord decided that cloning wasn't going to be something that Lucifer was going to be allowed to continue using. And so the Alliance has systematically and pretty much destroyed cloning. Now, there may be some clones that are being used on the good side, and the reason those people would be out there would be to possibly protect people who would otherwise be attacked by the Luciferian organizations. For example, and I will give you one, let's say that our dear friend Charlie is now dead, but what if it was a clone that died in place of Charlie? And of course, we're talking about Charlie Kirk. And that could be the possibility in a lot of different assassinations that have taken place. It's very possible that clones died in place of the real individual. Then the real individual will live out their normal life. The only difference is they have to be kind of concealed and hidden away. So it's kind of sad, really. That's all we're going to talk about today. We're going to get into some of the other points of DNA tomorrow. We're going to get into GMOs. We're going to get into some of the other things as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about super soldiers. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers, and I want you to have a good day. A good day will always start with good prayers. And if those good prayers reach the throne of God, well, that's your key, isn't it? You're going to have a good day. You're bound to have a good day. But what about the longing of your heart? Do you want the longing of your heart? You know, you can pray for that too. And if the longing of your heart lines up with God's heart, well, that's key. There's your other key. And that's going to happen too, isn't it? Especially if the longing of your heart is to see your loved ones get saved. Wow. That will be beautiful. And we are now seeing the revivals are beginning. Wonderful. God bless you. Have a good day.